So Seth, do you mind if I call you Seth, or do you prefer Mr. Coons?
Oh, Seth's fine.
Thank you so much. Seth, thank you for letting me come show you the program at such short notice. You're going to love it. Everybody does. Okay, the name of the company is Adcart, and we have a corporate name called Market Tech Media Corporation. We deal with all these corporations nationwide. We are a nationwide company. We trade under the name Adcart, and we have been helping businesses grow since 1951. A lot of people enjoy doing business with companies that have been around for 50, 60 years because they feel more comfortable, because they know that we're not brand new, and we've been helping business grow since 1951, and we sincerely hope we help you grow your immigration law firm as well. So I'm sure that makes you feel a little more comfortable, doesn't it? Good. Okay, repetition and familiarity equals recognition. So when we talk about soup, burgers, chocolate, you think of Campbell's, McDonald's, Hershey's. You may think of Progresso, you may think of Burger King, just depending on how much more you prefer Burger King or Wendy's to McDonald's. Now, granted, these are international logos. They're all over the world. Now, in your case, obviously, you would only advertise right here in your hometown and probably within about a 5-mile radius. There's no good you advertising your law firm in Australia when you're right here in the United States, when you're right here in Southern California, right? So it makes good sense that we project your image, your logo. You have a logo, I should imagine.
Yes.
Good. Do you use the scales at all, the legal scales? Mm-hmm. Oh, fantastic. Good. And then the name of the company? Right. Good. Well, we do a lot of business with law firms, as I've told you before, so I'll show you some examples as well. Adcart puts your business in the hub of the community. The average grocery store has over 15,000 customers per week that go through that supermarket with your ad directly in front of their face or in front of their hands. They are literally handcuffed to your name, 18 inches from the eye, inches from the hands. So they're pushing your name around on a consistent level. Now, we were talking about targeting, and not targeting your business in Australia, but marketing to within a 5-mile radius of the supermarket. So in this particular case, we're talking about the store that's just down the road. Now, how far would you say you are from the supermarket, from the actual A&P?
About 2 miles.
2 miles. So you're right within your marketing area, because your business, their business comes from people come from within about a 5-mile radius. So their customers are your potential clients. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Repetition. Number of visits per week. The reason people like to advertise in supermarkets is very simple. It is 7 times more likely that people will walk into a supermarket than a convenience store, like a 7-Eleven or a local corner convenience store, or 3 times more than a mass merchandise store, like a Sam's Club, Costco, etc., etc., because you don't get the types of volume that you get in the supermarkets. We did a survey and we found that people have to eat. Okay, supermarkets spend over $1 million a year on advertising. They advertise on television, they advertise on radio, newspaper inserts, and they advertise on the internet. So it allows your business to piggyback on the advertising dollars of that supermarket chain.
So advertising with Adcart, I'm indirectly advertising through these other ways.
Absolutely, because they're spending the money they're spending an average of $20,000 per supermarket to get those thousands of people, those 15,000 people in there per week. So by you advertising on the kiddie seat of the shopping carts, you can participate in those other 4 mediums and without having to pay for it, because they already pay for it. So it makes a good economical decision for you. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah.
It makes good economic sense, right?
Yeah.
Great. Now, grosser concerns, time equals money. Now, we have a directory. It's an A to Z listing of all the hard-to-find food items in the supermarket. And right next to it, you would be featured in this position. And the minimum quantity of carts you can purchase is 20%, because we sell them in 20% increments. Of course, you can purchase more if you wish. Now, if you prefer, you can take the front side. Take a look over there. Now, you notice the ad is much larger, simply because we don't have a directory side, because it faces the front of the cart. So here, Mrs. Jones, the first thing she does is she grabs the cart. It sits in that position. It jumps up like that. So now she's seeing your name on a consistent basis, because she's looking at the aisle while she's pushing it around. And she's in there 45 to 55 minutes at a time in the store. On this side, if you purchase this side on 20% of the carts, well, you have 3 or 4 people coming up the aisle while she's pushing her cart down the aisle. And guess what? They're going to see that Seth Coombs and Associates is the immigration attorney to call in this area. Well, in your opinion, which would you prefer to be on? The directory side or the front side?
Probably the directory side.
Well, that's just because you like it, because you have that focused view. Right. Now, you have an option to buy this position over here if you prefer, which is the sponsorship position, and that we can put you on 50% of the cards or 100% of the cards. It's that simple. So, Seth, try not to see this ad, exposure. You cannot miss it, can you?
It's true.
Now, if you had to purchase 20% of the cards on this side, then if it was a perfect world, you'd be on every 5th card because it's 20%. That makes sense to you, doesn't it? Great. Okay, we know that you have opportunity to purchase television advertising, radio, newspaper, direct mail. Now, if you advertise on TV and radio, you better have your TV had better be on when that person is watching. Their TV had better be on, or it had better be on the channel where your advertisement is being broadcasted. So, otherwise, it's falling on deaf ears. So, you're still paying for that ad, yet it's not getting to anybody. You're not getting your name out there in front of anybody. You understand that? With the newspaper, it's fantastic. If you're on page 3, your ad appears on page 3. When they turn that page to page 4, you become yesterday's news. Unless you go into continued editions of that newspaper, which is then going to end up costing you a great deal of money. And then finally, direct mail. Wonderful piece. But the problem with direct mail is you might spend several thousands of dollars, do your 10,000 drop or your zip code drop. You're going to be inundated with calls maybe for the first couple of days, and then it dies off because they're not going out on a consistent basis. So, therefore, direct mail, you don't have the consistency of people seeing your name on an ongoing basis. Whereas with Adcart, you are consistently being seen 2 to 3 times a week when people are going into the supermarket. Every time they walk in, what's the first thing you do when you walk into a supermarket? Is you grab a shopping cart. So if you're on this side, they're going to see the name of your law firm. And if they're pushing the cart along, they're going to see the name of your law firm. Or if the cart's in the shopping center, in the parking lot, they're going to see the name. Or whether they're in the bakery, or if they're at the bank, or wherever they might be in that supermarket, that's what they're going to see. You know how we get nosy and we want to see who's eating the tofu and who's eating the healthy foods, and we're waiting to check out? What do we see then? That's the part that they see before they see this. This is the only time that this gets seen is when Mrs. Jones grabs it and she's pushing that car out. So both sides are very good. It makes no difference. But you know what? Possibly I can interest you in buying 20% of the cards on this side and possibly a further 20% of the cards on this side, so it gives you double the exposure and it'll put you on 40% of the cards. You'll be on almost half the cards in the store. But we'll talk about that because obviously we have to fit into your budget because you need the budget, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So we've talked about targeting, we talked about exposure, and we talked about repetition. The average shopper visits a supermarket 2 to 3 times a week, and they spend an average of 45 to 55 minutes at a time in the store. So with that consistency of them seeing your name over and over and over again, now they know somebody who needs immigration attorney, or they need an immigration attorney themselves, there's a very good chance that your company will get the phone call. Can I ask you a question, Seth? Do you remember my name? And I'm going to cover my name on my business card. Do you remember it?
Howard?
Well, close. Let me not embarrass you. My name is Howard. Have a look. Howard Harris. Seth, if I walked into your practice last Monday morning and I said, "Good morning, Seth. I'm Howard Harris. How are you?" Walked in here again Tuesday afternoon. Said, "Beautiful day out here. It's Howard Harris. How are you doing, Seth?" Wednesday morning, I popped my head in and said, "Hi, how are things going, Seth? It's Howard Harris." On Thursday morning, you're going to say, "Hi, Howard Harris, come have a cup of tea with me." You're going to remember my name. What is my name?
Howard Harris.
And you know why you remember that? Let me tell you why you remember it. Because you just heard the name Howard Harris 4 or 5 or 6 times. And the consistency of hearing it over and over again is what makes people remember a name or a number or a face. And right now, if we put your name, your smiling face, if you want to put a photograph of yourself, I don't know if you do that. If you do, we do. We'll talk about artwork afterwards. But you can put the scales as your logo, your website address, your telephone number. We keep it very simple. And the consistency of people seeing it twice a week If they're in the market for an immigration attorney or they know somebody who needs an immigration attorney, there's a good chance that Coombs and Associates will get that call. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, good. I'm glad you do. So, price aside, can you see how this program can benefit your business or your practice?
Yeah, I can.
Good. I'm glad that you enjoy it because there's nothing else I can do about the concept. What I have is all I have, and as long as you like it, I'm sure that we're going to be able to do some business.
Okay.
Fantastic. Should we talk about money? Because obviously that's important
Oh,
to
yes.
you. Fantastic. Okay, let me show you what my red card looks like. We have 20% of the cards that you can purchase on the directory side. Remember we talked about that.
Yeah.
Or you can purchase 50% or 100% on the directory sponsorship position. Or you can purchase 20% or more on the front side. So let's go ahead and talk about pricing. If you purchase, say, 20% here or 20% here, it works out at $1,800 for the entire 6-month duration. It starts on October 15th and it goes for 6 months precisely. We have a one-time charge of $255. That is a production charge. We put your artwork together and it's also to cover maintenance to install them on the cards.
Okay.
So it's only a one-time fee. You never ever pay the $255 ever again. That's for 20% of the cards. Now, remember we talked about you possibly purchasing 20% of the cards on the front side. So now number the cards 1 to 20, your name will be over here. Now number the cards 21 to 40, your name will be here. You'll be on almost half the cards in that entire store over that 6-month duration. And we don't double the price. What we do is because you're buying 2, we give you a little break in the price. So for 40%, it only costs you $3,000 plus the $255. Now I can give you a payment plan, or you can pay in full. It's entirely up to you. Would you like to hear about the payment plan, or do you generally pay in full for your marketing?
I'd probably like to look at the payment plans.
What I can do with you, how long have you been in business?
About 2 years.
2 years, okay, and you're a law firm, so I'm not really worried about you from a credit point of view. I'm sure you pay your bills. Okay, the $3,000, what I would do is pick up 20%, which is only $600, plus the $255. So therefore, I would request that you gave me $600 plus the $255 equals $855, and that's all you have to give me as a down payment, right? Then the $600, we reduce that from the $3,000, leaving you with an amount of $2,400, and I can give you 4 months, 3 months, or 5 months. It's interest-free, it's finance cost-free. How many months would you like to do it over?
I'll probably go with 4 months.
4 months. Well, that makes it nice and easy for the arithmetic. We divide that, works out exactly $600 a month times the 4 months. So if you take a look here, all you have to give me today would be the $855 down, which covers that and the deposit, covers the production deposit, and then 4 payments of $600 each will exhaust your investment, and then your ag will continue until the 15th of April, when we'll come see you again about the renewal period.
Okay.
Okay? Now, if you prefer, I can offer you a discount if you pay in full. So what we can do is, it's $3,255, just reduce it by 5%, and then you can put that all on a credit card, or you can give me a check. Would you prefer to put it on a credit card and pay up front and in full, or would you prefer to do the payment plan, sir?
I'll probably pay it in full.
Fantastic. Then what it works out is $3,255, and I'll just deduct the 5% when I do the paperwork on the contract.
Okay.
Fair enough? Good. Would you like to put that on a credit card, or would you prefer to use a check, sir?
I'll probably use a credit card.
Fantastic. May I have the credit card because I need it for the paperwork? And then we'll talk about